From Stockholm, we flew up to Karunya, 125 miles north of the Arctic Circle, where our first stop was meeting indigenous reindeer herders, the Sami people. It was minus 22 degrees in the open air, but in the snug warmth of a traditional lavu tent, we were toasty.
There, we swapped stories around an open fire over bowls of reindeer stew laced with lingonberries. The following day, we were teamed up with Mats Peterson, a former ice hockey player and an absolute mountain of a man.
Mats knew his stuff. He was a veteran of the legendary Iditarod, a multi-day sledding race through the wilds of Alaska, and had a team of 80 dogs at his disposal. With a dawn start planned for a sled tour the following morning, we were spending the night in Matt's Mongolian yurt.
"This is my favourite room," he growled in his thick Swedish accent. "I have fathered 5 of my 6 children in here."
I have fathered 5 of my 6 children in here.
I have fathered 5 of my 6 children in here.
Smells like he's done some sweating in these sleeping bags.
David wasn't wrong, but luckily we soon had a pot of beef stew simmering over the campfire to mask the pong. Later we bedded down under piles of reindeer hides.
It was undeniably cosy in Matt's love nest. However, there wasn't much sleep to be had.
When I crept out for a wee in the middle of the night, braving the blizzard conditions, I set the dogs off.
As their howls pierced the darkness, they sounded like something out of a horror movie.
By 3 a.m, the dogs were baying again, this time with the anticipation of the sled run ahead. Matt's team harnessed the huskies, and by 5 a.m, David and I were taking our positions, sat on one of the sleds.
Him in front, me tucked in behind, and Mads at the rear steering the dogs. By now the temperature had slumped to something like minus 30 degrees. There'd been plenty of times back home in Yorkshire digging sheep out of snowdrifts when I'd been chilled to the bone, but the weather here was on another level. Our lives were in Matt's hands.
Slicing through the snow, through a winter landscape of bare trees and steel grey skies. Matt's pointed out beaver, moose and reindeer tracks. I'd never experienced anything like it before or since.
It looked for all the world as though we were heading towards the North Pole.
Then, as we sped along, one of Matt's best dogs, Monkey, started lifting his leg, looking like a horse trying to pull up lame. "What's up with him, Dave? Must be injured. Are we stopping for him or what?"
But Monkey wasn't injured at all. He was simply answering the call of nature. He needed a crap.
He needed a crap.
Monkey wanted to stop and do his business in a leisurely manner, but his canine teammates were dragging him along.
And as Mats mushed onwards, Monkey began firing turds at us.
The dogs behind him were kicking it up in the air as they ran full pelt across the snow. Facing directly into the line of fire, all David could do was cover his features with his gloved hands, while I ducked for cover behind him, using him as a human shield. Only the freezing temperatures saved David from being showered with globs of poo. As soon as it hit the back of his gloves, it froze solid. So when Monkey had finished his business, David simply brushed it all away.